Welcome back to the It's Really Not That Deep podcast.
It's never that deep.
As silly as it sounds, lately I've really been grasping the idea that, it's okay to actually be myself. And I don't actually have to be what everyone thinks I should be in my mind. Because I could be wrong about what other people are thinking and just assuming that they want me to be this way. And I'm wrong. So why don't I just be myself?
Yeah, and usually, like you just said, we don't even know what they're thinking, and everyone's just thinking about themselves, so we should also think inwards. I think part of the reason that we started this podcast in the first place was because we were both kind of in a journey of figuring out who we are as people and who we want to be, and this podcast has really allowed us to be our own authentic selves and the whole whoever's watching, and we kind of have to be okay with that. And if we're not ourselves, then why are we even presenting ourselves to the public?
Yeah. And I like it because it's a challenge. We ask questions that force me to think. And then I'm like, oh. And that's really nice to understand myself as I move through my life.
Yeah, we're literally being vulnerable with each other, with ourselves, and with you guys.
Yeah. I love vulnerability. So I think as part of this episode, I kind of want to break down some of the things that I used to think versus how I am now, and identify why I thought that, what shaped me to think that way, because what the hell are you?
And truthfully, some of the things that we still do think, because yeah, we can learn a lot about ourselves, but I don't think we are 100% our authentic selves 100% of the time.
Correct. So I've also realized that the more you be yourself, the more you can feel loved, because if people are loving a version of you that you're only putting on for them, that's not real love. They have to love actually you for you to feel safe and secure. But how can they love you if you're not being you?
I think that's something I learned really recently, that I feel like I was trying to put on an act to fit into a box of what someone might want, because in my head that's what I wanted too. So I was willing to change who I am to fit that box, but it was never going to work out because we were never going to align.
Yeah. And you would have figured out later on that I'm so unhappy because I've put my true self on hold just to be with this person.
Yeah.
And now who am I? And I want to run out of my own skin.
Yeah.
Not the vibe.
Not the vibe. Vibe killer.
And something that's really been a hard pill to swallow is that I don't need everyone's validation. I need my validation. Mm-hmm. Because that's I strive for validation. That's who I am. I thrive off it. I love it. So it's really hard to force myself to limit that.
I think everyone thrives off validation, and I don't think that's a crazy thing. I think what's important, because of course you want other people's validation, but I think it's important to choose and understand who is important to get that validation from and who is literally just an NPC.
So true, but also being your number one supporter and giving it to yourself and self-talk and mindfulness. But we say of course, but that's not something I've ever done until this year.
Yeah.
So
facts. So part of understanding vulnerability, we kind of did a little bit of research, and one, I'm gonna butcher this girl's name, Brene Brown. Brene?
I think that's right.
Okay. And what she studied was that you can't have authenticity without vulnerability. And authenticity is a risk because you have that risk of rejection that we kind of are all afraid of. But once you can kind of get past that, it is what creates true connection with ourselves and with the people around us. So it's really, vulnerability is the fastest route to belonging and to connection.
Yeah. And it really is rewiring brains to be comfortable in discomfort, which is such a hard thing to do, but vulnerability is so uncomfortable at first. And my mind keeps going back to Othership and that cold plunge and how I have to train my mind to be there and getting so comfortable in the uncomfortable. And it helps me in all the other areas of my life because I'm wait, I'm strong. I can do this. It's really nice.
It is really nice. And it's really scary, especially when it's something that sometimes I say I can be vulnerable when it's things that I'm already comfortable with in myself. So then it's well, I'm not really being vulnerable. But when it's something that you're already uncomfortable with and you don't have that 100% authenticity, it's really scary.
Yeah. I've been questioning myself a lot because I've become safe with myself where I can be honest with myself. But anytime I feel sad or I don't like this, I'm well, why? Really, why? And it's usually something stupid that I've agreed to in my mind and just gone forward with it. But why?
What do you usually come to?
Um,
When you ask the why, how does that lead to authenticity?
because it usually brings up some deep insecurity that I have. Like, you're unloved, or you're not good enough, or you're a loser, or your friends don't actually like you. Like, something like that.
And then from there, how do you stay vulnerable with yourself to continue that conversation?
I like to journal. I like to acknowledge what's going on. I've been like talking into my phone to journal and just like talking things through with myself. And I don't necessarily find a solution, but I do think that acknowledgement is the first step, as we know. Um, and so once I can acknowledge it, I say to myself, you can start to change this. You're not in a box. You're not locked in this mindset, this core belief. You can change this. And I do, by like repeating affirmations to myself and just showing up as the person that I want to be. I visualize a lot.
Yeah, I'm not so good at visualizing. You're good at that.
I force myself to be good at it. Like, you don't understand. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, Joelle, visual. Like, I yell at myself. I'm parenting myself. Like, you have to do this to be the best version of yourself. So you're going to do it.
Preach. I fear I'm not going to do that. I should do it, but I won't.
No, I understand.
Maybe Joelle needs to parent me as well as herself. Period. End of sentence. Next topic.
Also on this, I love this topic. When I'm authentic with you, you're going to be more authentic,
Yeah.
and vice versa. Like, when you can open up with someone, that's when true connection really starts, because it's not surface level anymore. You're telling this person, I trust you. And then when they trust you, you're telling this person, I hear you. Like, that's all we want as humans, validation. So when you can validate yourself and your friends,
And when there are people that like, when I see someone I know and we're not friends, and like you say hi and you're like, oh my god, hi, how are you? That's not me and it's not them. And those are the kind of people that you should try to refrain from seeking validation from. Because if you're not open to being your vulnerable self and your authentic self, then probably they aren't either. And they never will be.
yeah.
It's the same as like, don't take advice from someone you wouldn't switch places with.
Yeah. But then like like that person's not thinking of you afterwards. That person
No.
doesn't, as long as you weren't like like they're not gonna care.
Yeah.
You know, no one really cares. Everyone's like, oh, was I weird? Was that weird? I shouldn't have said that. Take a deep breath.
Yeah. Do you think it's harder to be sometimes authentic with people you're not close with or people that you are close with?
I think it really depends on the person. But I think that authenticity is so important with the people I'm close with. So people I'm not close with.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like, I think I'm pretty authentic with people that I'm close with. I think it sometimes can be harder to be more vulnerable.
Yeah. Because they have higher stakes in your life.
Yeah, there are higher stakes.
I think in the past I would have said, like, I don't feel authentic around new people. But I think I really proved to myself over the past few weeks that, like, you're chilling.
You're telling.
Yeah.
And I think, like, even, like, you just started school, like, meeting people that, like, you don't really know and forming relationships with them kind of helps to prove that.
Yeah. And I just, like, I feel right now like I'm exactly the person that I wanted to be when I was younger. Which, like, I just have to remind myself that that's where I'm at in life every day. Because I deserve to feel confident. I deserve to feel like, oh, I'm so good at making friends and I'm smart and like, hello?
Yeah, and I fear I do that too much. Like last night I was with my parents and I forget what we were talking about. I'm like, yeah, obviously they're obsessed with me. They're like, I'm so cool and awesome. And like, I do think that. Yeah. I do think I'm super cool and awesome. Yeah, so I feel all these things. And then why do I shrink myself down for others when I don't even know them? Or like, if they don't think I'm so cool and awesome, then why do I even care to put up a front with them?
You're conditioned by fear. You've literally,
Yeah.
that's what you've done your whole life. That's what you think works because that's what keeps you safe because that's what you're used to. But you have to actively unwire that.
Yeah, it also confuses me, like, a little off topic, but like, if I like a boy, okay, and that guy is clearly not the right person for me, and I do have to change myself a little bit to fit into that box, why do I crave that attention so much when there's so many people that I don't need to do that for?
With the boy,
Yeah.
there could be a lot of reasons for that. Like, I think it's an
Part,
insecurity around boys.
yeah. Partly I think it's like a little bit of like a challenge, which is kind of like fucked up.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's not fucked up. Like, I feel like a lot of people would feel that way as well.
yeah. But like, yeah, I guess partly, I don't know what it is really. I think it's easier to go for guys that I they don't see all of me, because then there's nothing for them to like hurt me with.
Yeah. Yeah, like relationships are really hard and they're really scary when you're in the beginning stages because there's a risk, you know? But that's exactly what we're talking about. There's always a risk. And there's a risk that this one doesn't work out. But you did your best. You were you. You were authentic. And if this person isn't your match, see ya.
But like, as soon as I, not that I fully let go, but as soon as I let go of like this other person and like admitted to myself how wrong they were for me, and like I like can really acknowledge all these things and actually worked on putting that relationship aside, like it's just already opened up other opportunities and things. A little backstory, because I guess I'm making no sense. So I was seeing this guy over the summer, and it was good, and I had a lot of fun, but he was just like, I felt kind of just there, and I was adapting to whatever he wanted me to be, and I was there when he wanted me, and then when he didn't, that was kind of it. And it took a really long time for me to like come to terms with like, girl, this is not it. Like,
As it does.
yeah, like he's not the guy for you, even though you have like, you make up so much potential in your mind. So finally, like kind of letting go of that and not seeking that validation anymore. I've like met a new guy, and I really don't know him that much, so I'm not going to talk that much about it. But even just knowing him for like this short amount of time, the way that we talk and the way that he will like validate me or like tell me things, it's like, why was I even seeking this other person when there's people like this that will do these things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You live and learn.
Yeah.
Like you've never, I guess, maybe you've never had that before, not for a long time.
Yeah, no, I feel like I never did, even with my ex. Like, I know he really loved me, and I know, like, we didn't have a bad relationship or anything, but I was definitely more, like, mature, and I think I need someone that will take care of me, and I'm not the opposite, and I feel like I've never kind of gone for guys like that because I think it scares me,
Yeah.
because then what if they don't want to?
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like it's the first time I'm, like, allowing it, which is, like, kind of scary, but vibing.
You don't grow in your comfort zone.
Preach. End of episode.
You're not going to find your husband in your comfort zone.
Exactly. I've also haven't told Joelle, like, anything about this really, so she's kind of just hearing this for the first time with all of you.
And I love it.
Yeah.
We're really getting deep. This is the only thing I want to discuss. So it's a really good opportunity for you to practice what you preach.
Yeah. And I'm really trying, even, like, I think part of, like, being authentic with me, especially for, like, because I think I'm really authentic in most areas of my life except for with, like, in relationships. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think so.
I don't think you're wrong.
So I think part of, like, being authentic is, I think what's scary to me is setting boundaries and expectations, because I feel like someone wouldn't want to do that for me. Mm-hmm. And, like, I was with my friend the other day, and she was like, no, ask for what you want and, like, whatever, and if he doesn't, then he's not the guy. So I'm really trying to, like, set my boundaries and what I expect from a relationship, which is really hard to do. But it also is kind of nice when, like, they do fall through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you really just got to take it day by day. Like, that can be really overwhelming of what is everything I want and, like, how do I make sure he has it?
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
And you need to keep working with yourself, which I have no doubt you will. But it is nice to be proven wrong.
Yeah, it is. And like just like someone is willing to do these things. And they're such small things, like pick me up.
It always is.
Yeah, like something stupid like that.
Yeah. But it just goes to show like who that person's gonna be to you in your life.
Yeah.
If they're in your life. Like,
Yeah. We'll see.
we'll see.
Only
We
time
love
will
to
tell.
see.
Yeah.
Where are we?
I have no idea. Not a single clue.
Okay.
Well,
So, how do we practice being more authentic?
you tell me.
For
girl.
me, mindfulness and meditation, which I'm obviously going to break down because that's a big word, but a lot of presence and a lot of self-talk. Like before I go into, I'm socially anxious. Before I go out with people, I get anxious. And just telling myself, like, you're going to love you no matter what. So, like, what does it matter what Johnny whatever thinks, you know? So just checking in with myself before and after these situations. And I'm like, you're good, girl. Like, you're good.
Yeah. I think like here, like we wrote exposure therapy or theory, exposure theory. It's just the more you practice it, the easier it will get. And I think that's really true. It's definitely hard to start practicing it, but I think even just speaking it out loud and tell your friend, like, a lot of times I was like almost embarrassed to want these things, or I'm like, I'm asking for too much. And they're like, no, you're not. Like, do better, say what you want. And then it kind of like allows you to respect yourself. And then it also allows you to respect like the relationship or with friendship. Yeah.
I think everyone's really struggling with loneliness. And like, it's the idea that even if there's people around, people are feeling really lonely. And I feel like it's because people are afraid to get real with each other. And so you are isolated and you are alone because no one really knows you. So I think like just working up to being honest with the people around you and little other things like going for a walk and saying hi to someone instead of keeping your head down. Like just who is it that you want to be and what are some little things you can do to get there?
Yeah, for sure. I like see all over like TikTok people will literally just like go do weird things in public. It's like exposure therapy. Maybe I'm not gonna do like a funky hairstyle and walk at the streets of Yorkville, but like Joelle's right, like go say hi to someone, go to a coffee shop and ask someone how their day is, compliment people. Complimenting people is the easiest way to like gain access to someone.
So, as a challenge, think of one place this week, back to school, back to work, all the things where you can show up as a new and better, more aligned version of yourself that is more authentic.
And try to be vulnerable with yourself. Like sometimes what you said about being lonely, sometimes I feel more lonely with other people than I do when I'm with myself. And I think maybe people don't feel that way because I'm very secure with myself. But if you feel lonely when you are with yourself, then I think you have to check in and think like, what am I scared to admit to myself that won't allow me to be fully open and calm down when you are with yourself. Like being with yourself should be a moment of like
Facts. We hope this episode challenges you to be more authentic. I feel like even within this episode, we got more authentic with ourselves, and it's just so beautiful.
peep Joelle for her spiritual beautifulness.
Love you guys.
Love you.